Alright, so one thing I know about you is that you just went to YouTube and you typed in 300ZX how to remove automatic pilot bushing. And you stumbled across this video. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to do it on my engine right now. And yeah, that's what we're going to do. So let's flip the camera around and I'll show you what we're working with here. Okay, so you already know what we're looking at because you're staring at one in your shop right now most likely. This is the automatic transmission pilot bushing right here. And that dude needs to come out of the crankshaft so that you can press in the new manual transmission pilot bushing that you probably just picked up at AutoZone or O'Reilly's or Pep Boys, or you're going to pick one up tomorrow. Or you're going to order one from Amazon. Anyway, so we got to get this out of here. What we're going to do is we're going to use the axle grease method, or what some people will call the bread method. And that's where you pack this hole full of axle grease or bread. It's so funny that people use bread. I think it's hilarious. But it's a good idea. If that's all you got, it'll definitely work, I'm sure. I've done this before with axle grease, and we're going to try it again. So the idea is you pack it full of axle grease, and then you hammer something in there, and you create a bunch of hydraulic pressure inside there, and the hydraulic pressure ends up getting between this bearing and the crank in that little groove right there, and it literally hydraulically presses this thing out as you're hammering it. And I have done it before on other cars, on 240SXs. It definitely does work. So I found out that a 14 millimeter 3/8 socket, I think this is Craftsman or something, yeah, 14 millimeter Craftsman 3/8 fits in here really, really nicely. And so that's what we're going to try to use. And then we're going to set that in there like that, and then we're going to smack on the end of this guy with a 3-pound sledgehammer a whole bunch of times, however many times it takes, and hopefully hitting it bam, 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 bam will drive this dude on out. Okay, so I'm going to use this little popsicle stick thing here. And hopefully that works to pack everything full. Oh, whoops. Ha, that's hilarious. I don't need that full of grease. I need this full of grease. I got a mess. That takes care of that guy. Now we got the big job, which is filling him all the way to the back, and that thing's pretty big and deep. Okay, so I went over to my scrap metal bin and I started looking for things that might fit inside here, and I found two things. One is this old piece of steel that you would play, what's it called, horseshoes with. So I cut that out of my yard years ago. It's actually perfect, a little small actually. So we may end up using that, but I also found this. This is a piece of aluminum that you would weld to the bottom of an intercooler, and then you would use this screw, this bolt here, as a mount. So it's a mounting point for an intercooler. Anyway, it just happens to be perfect. It's so perfect, I'm a little concerned it's going to get bound up in there. But it does slide in and out, so I threaded the bolt all the way down so that it's got full thread engagement there, and we're just going to smack on that guy. See what happens. Okay, let's try this again. It's working. See that guy start coming out of there? It's pretty much out of there. It's so far out it's kind of cockeyed now. I'm not sure. Oh, there we go. There we go, guys. Success. So the grease method does reign supreme still again. Very cool. Love it. It was so easy too. Of course it does. The whole key is you got to have the right thing to jam in there, right? And that's always an issue. You always got to fish around in your shop and find something that works. The 14 millimeter would have worked perfect if I could have sealed it. This would have worked really good. I probably would have chopped a chunk out of it. So anyway, that's what I did. That's what worked for me. So good luck, guys, on your project.